Personal Story segment tonight. As you may know, the House Homeland Security Committee opened on the jihad in America today. And one of the first witnesses was Congressman Keith Ellison from Minnesota, who is a Muslim. Mr. Ellison talked about a 23-year-old Muslim paramedic who was killed on 9/11.
Mohammed Salman Hamdani was a fellow American who gave his life for other Americans. His life should not be identified as just a member of an ethnic group or just a member of a religion, but as an American who gave everything for his fellow Americans.
Joining us now from Washington is Congressman Ellison. Now, you told the committee today that you believe the hearings are stereotyping Muslims, but don't you want to know, Congressman, the facts about the jihad in some mosques? There are allegations, as you know, that extremism is being preached in some American mosques. Do you want to know that?
Well, I'm not sure I buy your basic premise either, Bill, but I will say this. I think that it's very important to understand as much as we can about violent extremism in the Muslim community and throughout any community. I mean, the fact is that my problem was the demonization of a singular community when, as we know, Timothy McVeigh, violent extremists, murdered Americans, Jared Loughner, people who committed horrific acts at Columbine. This is not simply a problem with the Muslim community, but in fact, I am concerned about that problem too, and that's why I have spoken out and written and supported legislation on these points.
All right, now you said you don't understand my premise. What is my premise?
Well, you're using loaded words like jihad. I think that if you were to talk to Muslim Americans, what you'd find is that they are law-abiding people.
Well, I don't doubt that.
Try to help
but the investigation, the Homeland Security investigation, is on the jihad in America. How
it's on violence. It's on violent extremism.
All right, which is pretty much what jihad is: a holy war using violent tactics to advance the cause of Islam. Okay, I don't want to get caught up again. Now, I asked this question to Alan Colmes, and he couldn't answer it. So I'm hoping that you can. 1962, Robert Kennedy was the Attorney General of the United States. And they did a big exposition of organized crime centering on Italians in America. Now, at the same time, there were other crimes committed by other ethnicities. But the hearings and the focus was on the mafia, Italian organized crime. I think this is just about the same thing in the sense that one ethnicity, one religion is being singled out for investigation. Absolutely right on that. Okay.
No, you're wrong about that, Bill. I'm sorry. You're incorrect.
How is it wrong?
Well, it would be similar if an attorney general said, we're going to investigate Italians and radicalization or criminal acts among Italians.
Well, that's what Kennedy did.
No, that's not what he did. What he did is he said, we're going to investigate a specific criminal organization. And today,
that was made up of all Italians.
Wrong. That's not the point. The point is, if Peter King said we want to do an investigative hearing on Al-Qaeda, you would have no argument with me. I'd say absolutely go get him.
Okay.
I would have recommendations on how you did it.
You know, if that's your feeling, maybe he should have targeted down and do what I'm doing. We're going to investigate the jihad in America. All right, now look, Frank Gaffney. You know Frank Gaffney? Do you know him and his group?
No, I'm not familiar with him.
You should be. And I'm not saying that in a condescending way, because you would be very interested in what Mr. Gaffney has to say. He and his organization allege that violent extremism and Sharia law is being condoned in 75% of the American Muslim mosques.
That's absurd. That's absurd and ridiculous.
Now, that is his contention. Isn't it worthy if Congressman King, and I hope he calls Gaffney, and I hope he calls Gaffney and say, back this up. Isn't it worthy if that committee, that Homeland Security Committee, could debunk this? Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but I'd like to know if it's true.
Well, let me ask you this. Why won't, I would rather that Congressman King call in the Attorney General, call in the FBI, call in experts in the field who are learned and published. And
I assume he will. I assume that's going to happen.
And have peer-reviewed information to share. Now, you might have some individual who has some opinions, and that's fine. But we need to get facts, not stereotypes.
I'm with you. You and I agree 1,000%. This is what I said last night. Get the facts on the table. Stop the hysteria. And I think King is going to do that.
Well, I hope he does, but you offer this individual who I don't know, but it sounds like this allegation that he's making is not credible and has no merit.
Look, that's
and so
what,
I think
that is
let's
what.
start.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's start with with credible witnesses who actually have valid information to share. Let's call Eric Holder. Let's call Mueller from the FBI.
I'm with you 100%.
Let's call people
I want to
who know
see
what
those
they're talking
guys.
about.
I want to see those guys, but I also want to see Gaffney, and I want to see if Gaffney can back it up. I might have Gaffney on his program next week. I might have him on the program. I don't want to see anybody who's just throwing around
allegations and stereotypes.
No, but you should,
Congressman, information.
You should want to see that, because if he gets up there in front of that committee and he's got bupkis and he can't back it up, they're gone. You should want that.
No, Congress needs to focus its attention on high-value information, not just naked stereotypes that anybody can toss around.
Congressman, we really appreciate your time tonight. We know you're very busy. Thank you.
Thank you.